this is specifically for Image Comics, but I'm going to go. Let's see, six. I have 12 books here. Well, 15 if you count. Well, actually, no, it's 14 if you count. Because I have like 3 volumes. One's a 3-volume series, so I show all 3 volumes. But this is something I want to do for a little while. I was gonna wait until more of the ones that I've read before. Library had yada yada for Image Comics, but there's a slow week this week, and then Saturday today, I have nothing. Wait, was it Saturday? Did I mess up? Yeah, no, sorry. That's right, too. Today is the only day I won't have anything uploaded, because Sunday I'll be doing the mini comic reviews where I just go over like the few books I'll be returning or that I finished by then. Well, even then I could probably finish them for Thursday, so maybe we'll do like a community post for the second one. I don't know. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I guess it doesn't matter which order I go in. I guess I'd like to do the ones that I have, like, I remember the most, you know? Even though some of these I've read, like, not too long ago, and some of these I've read a while ago, and some of the ones that I've read not too long ago, I don't remember as much. So I guess I'll do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just one more. You know what, I'll do the 3-volume series today. I decided that it was kind of an easy thing to do. I didn't want to do 12, you know? Do 6 and 6. Alright, so first one up is Made in Korea. This is one I talked about recently. I think all these are ones I talked about fairly recently. But this one, because I did my comic haul extravaganza for all the comics I got in fall and in winter, and a lot of them were ones like this, where I had read in the library before, but I wanted to own it myself because I liked it that much. And this is Made in Korea. This is written by Jeremy Holt, with artwork done by George Shaw. Just George Shaw. Sometimes the third name that's shown here will be the colorist, but it's just 2 names this time. And of course, the third one's always the letter. Third one is sometimes the letterer. I don't count. There's the artwork for this comic. This one, it's basically like if you can't have children of your own, you can have a robot child. And it's one of those books that kind of, as it goes along, it gets crazier and crazier. Like, not like super crazy, but like twists and turns. You don't expect, you don't know how it's gonna end, and a lot of those like cliffhanger endings. They're kind of like, oh, I really want to read the next chapter, and like if you're like me and you read 1 issue per day of a book, you kind of almost want to break that rule and read 2 per day. Sometimes, it's almost always, that's because of the fact that I have so much. This is a library book. I had 25 others, or 24 others, including 25 including this one, because I like to be 25, no more, no less. And if I were to read 2, it'd be 26. That 25 is the like the most amount I can read in a day without having to do too much, like waking up too early or like staying up all night. It's kind of like I know if I have like a good day where I have no interruptions or very little interruptions, I can read that, and finish it within a good amount. Finish it within a reasonable time. It takes me all day, sure, and the only breaks I really take are to eat and to like get a meal or whatever. But like small things like that. But I always can manage it. That's why this time I'm at the library will be the last time, if I can help it at least, that I get as many books as I'm getting. Like, so far, so good. We're at 17. And I can do the same thing I do with the OGN kind of thing. Like read the OGN, but I read some other books with it. Because sometimes I have too much, or sometimes I want to finish a book before I haven't finished a book. I think it's kind of happened this month, or this week. It was the same. All right. But anyways, that's my channel. It's like trying to explain things. I'm going too far. But this one, it dealt with a robot child, and like you know, children your own, a robot child, and a lot of it does start out kind of familiar. It does kind of start out with the robot child, like, she's really smart, and she is like kind of like, it's almost like it's kind of how AI is, and it's kind of freaky and that kind of thing. But it really does go into a, like, she makes, without getting too much away, she makes friends with a really not strange crowd, but really like not the best crowd. And I think that was yeah, that's where the story gets really good. And I think overall, I think anybody would enjoy this book. There's no like messages in here, messaging in here. It's not like she wants to be a boy and she's a girl. It's not like anything like that. It is just a competently written enough book, and I did like it. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it is something, again, it's underrated. It's kind of, this is supposed to be like an underrated gems, and a lot of the books that Image Comics prints out don't really get a whole lot of like recognition. And this is kind of what this video is supposed to be. You know, it's whether or not like it's not like these are all like super good. And you'll be a changed person when you finish this. No, these are books that I really enjoyed. They're above average at least. I think this is probably, yes, this is the one that is the best out of the 6, and that is Paper Girls. Now, this one is by the same writer as Saga, who, ironically enough, Brian K. Vaughan has a quote here. What did the quote say? Let's see. With perfect pacing, it does pan out. It's true. With perfect pacing and absolutely gorgeous artwork, reading Korea is highly recommended. Yeah, take it from Brian K. Vaughan. That's honestly all I need to say. But the writer here is Brian K. Vaughan, and he also, and the artist is Cliff Chang with colors by Matt Wilson. Now he has another Image comic series that everyone knows called Saga, and that's like the number one Image comic coming out today, I would say. I mean, except for the Energon universe, I think that is their top selling book. I'm not including Spawn. Spawn is obvious. I'm saying like something that's not from something that hasn't been running since the 1990s and has 50,000 spin-offs. No, I'm talking something that actually, is easy to pick up. Because Spawn is so hard to pick up. It's like, oh, yeah, I can read the compendiums. I can just ignore, oh, this happened here, this happened there, but it's so annoying it keeps happening. I remember the first, 5 issues. The 5th issue was like, here's a spin-off that's not collected in here that explains what happens with this character. It's really annoying. But that's the only thing I will give Image Comics, is sometimes, because it's creator-owned stuff, the creators of the books can't help themselves from writing a spin-off series or a prequel comic or this or that. They just can't leave well enough alone. And sometimes, I think Spawn is the only exception to that rule where I say they can't leave well enough alone, and I actually mean that. A lot of it is yeah, it makes sense that you'd want to make a prequel comic or a spin-off or some little one-shots that are written by different people, that kind of thing. But this is all in one too. So is Made in Korea. And there are several volumes that, and hopefully I do own them. Otherwise, I'll tell you how many volumes there are, but I will show them. I will show you how many volumes are in the book. Yes, this is Paper Girls. A very, very good series, and I do remember it going, it's one of those books that gets even crazier as it goes along. I don't think it gets confusing or too crazy. That was a complaint that a commenter had on my video that I was showing this off, again, that Comicholic Extravaganza. But I can see where someone's going with it. I do think it kind of, that it loses the plot and it gets confusing or anything like that, but it does kind of seem to go in a direction that's kind of crazy. I liked it, not for everyone maybe, but I think because I was just so invested in the story. This is also one that, because of how it's 30 issues, it was one that I had to return, so I couldn't have it for the longest, I couldn't keep it for the longest time. And I wanted to return it right when I was going to the libraries, and in order to do that, I had to read 7 per day, I think, or it was one day to read 7 of them, and I did not mind that one bit. You would think I'd get insanely sick of reading Paper Girls at that point and not want to read it ever again. Kind of like how Avengers World is. Avengers World is 23 issues, and I have to read, right now, to read 4 a day if I want to finish it for Sunday, on Sunday, tomorrow. And it's still good, don't get me wrong, I'll definitely pick it back up. It's a really good book, too. I don't think we'll pick it up and 6 months or later, 6 months or earlier. I think that's 6 month rule. But it is kind of one of those books where I'm like, another one. I'm only on 2. I read 2 more, kind of thing. But this one was I could probably read this and read this and Saga back to back, and I would not mind it one bit. That'd be all I read for the next few days, I would not mind that at all. And that's how good this series is. It is, like with a lot of Brian K. Vaughan's, honestly, everything I've read by Brian K. Vaughan, it's a page turner. You don't want to put it down. It is that kind of like series that, because here we go. It is the ultimate binge read. This and Saga are the ultimate binge reads. Like if people binge watch shows, this is your binge read, and you could probably finish this. It's 30 issues, like I said before, in like 2 days probably. Yeah, I would say 2 days. I could finish this in 2 days, no problem. And still have plenty of time to do, because I do like 15. So and 15, as you guys know, I just had 25, so 15 is like the perfect amount. So yeah, it's 17. To probably read 2 of them beforehand, and then they'll have 15. So I think 15 is a good number, for now at least. But I want to try and get to like 10. I think 10 is a perfect number when I have a job and everything like that. And yeah, I won't read all of 10 every day. Like I'll cut that in half, 5 and 5. But, you know, I hate this fucking rain. Alright. And then we have Flawed. And this is one of those books that I read recently, but I don't remember a whole lot from it. I do remember really enjoying the series. It's kind of one of those like revenge tales, and it's from the co-writers of Bitterroot, the co-writer of Bitterroot, Chuck Brown, with the artwork done by Prenzy. It's just Prenzy. It's not like Leroy Prenzy. I don't know. I was trying to do like Brian or Phil or Ben, like trying to do like a really weird name. It's a really weird last name kind of thing. Almost like a foreign name. But this one is kind of like a revenge tale, and I think it told it very well. I don't think it got any like, it wasn't too preachy. It wasn't like too over the top in a bad way. It was very interesting. I did really enjoy this one. Those who read Bitterroot don't expect it to be as good as Bitterroot. I think a lot of that has to do with David F. Walker. They struck gold. David F. Walker and Chuck Brown struck gold when it came to Bitterroot. And why didn't I put Bitterroot in this pile? I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't do that. But this is Flawed. I'll do it next time, like the next time. But yeah, this is Flawed. Written by Chuck Brown. Artwork done by Prenzy. And most of the artwork. It didn't show up for. Did I show up for Paper Girls? I don't know if I did. Here's the artwork for Paper Girls. Why did I say it like that? Paper Girls. Or Paper Girls. It's done by Cliff Chang. I do like his artwork. It's a bit too. It's like it's very distinct. I was gonna say it's a bit too cartoony, but no, it's not. What I meant to say at all. Ironically enough, I think all these are my top shelf. Hence why I keep saying like, oh yeah, I've talked about these before. But honestly, it was like September of last year to last month, like February 2024. So it was, you know, all the books I got in between then, all the comics I got in between then and then. So obviously it's gonna be a lot. But it's kind of funny that ironically enough, all these you've seen before if you saw my extravaganza video. But this is the kind of like a more condensed version, and no one saw my, like, people did see it, but they saw it like I was an hour in. I was almost 2 hours in, 2.5 hours, and it was very quick. But that was fine. I didn't expect anyone to even show up, so that was fine. So it's kind of a more condensed version of that series. And no, this is not like picking 12 out of the like whole entire series. It's just kind of one that I said, like, yeah, I want to read recently. That one I read recently. Let's do that one. Again, these are not the best, even out of my collection. These aren't the best. Maybe Paper Girls goes second, but not really. Now we have 2 Grant Morrison books. One being Happy, which has artwork done by Derek Robertson, and the other is Nameless, but this time the artwork is done by Chris Burnham with colors by Nathan Fairbairn. Now, Happy is probably the best Grant Morrison book to read if you're, for Image Comics at least, or in general, I would say one of the best in general to read if you don't want something that's too crazy, you don't want something that's too like confusing. If you want something that, like, if you read the sci-fi, if you've seen the sci-fi series, it's definitely one to check out. I don't know how like this one is like I mean the sci-fi series is 2 whole seasons, and it's like 20 episodes total, I think. It's a lot of episodes. It's like a good amount of episodes. but this is only 4 issues, and this is all in one too. But this is like Nameless is really crazy, over the top, not over the top, really crazy, really like confusing, and all over the place, but in the best way. In Grant Morrison fashion. I'm trying to say I can't think of it. But here, in classic Grant Morrison fashion. Grant Morrison writes like these kinds of. I hate to keep saying this. I hate to keep using the same words, but like confusing, convoluted too. But again, in the best way. Like you're there for the. At least for me, I'm there for the ride. Like, I don't know what's going on, but each time I read The Filth by Grant Morrison, I understand more and more of that series. So it has really good staying power. So you keep reading it and like you understand more and more. Thus, you want to be like, oh well, the 15th time will be as I understand even more. But it's not why I reread it. I reread it because I really like the series itself. I think the first time though I didn't like it as much as much as I did the next few times. But now I really like it. And I do consider it to be one of his best work. And then Happy, so this is 1 through 4 of Happy. This is 1 through 6, by the way, of Nameless. But something like Happy is very like it's a story about a father and his daughter's imaginary friend trying to save the daughter from this very, very creepy man. Let's get pretty dark. This one is probably the darkest of the two. Nameless, I mean, you could argue that Nameless is probably more dark, but yeah. One of them is I recommend to a wider crowd, a bigger crowd, but this one I recommend to Grant Morrison fans who haven't read the series yet. It is kind of funny how both his Image comics kind of show that Grant Morrison can write something that's more straightforward, but then he can also write something that's more Grant Morrison. Like, it's definitive Grant Morrison style, and it's definitive style. But both are still good Grant Morrison books. It's not like, oh, Happy because it's more straightforward, it's not as crazy, so it's not as enjoyable for a Grant Morrison super fan. No, a Grant Morrison super fan is still going to enjoy Happy. It does get pretty crazy, as in, like, it goes, like, this way and that way, it kind of, like, goes, like, a whole bunch of different directions. But it's not, like, it's not confusing at all. You understand what's going on. And then, last but certainly not the least, we have Brian Lee O'Malley's Snot Girl. Now, this is one that I think even guys can enjoy. Like, it is definitely a romance comic. It really has, like, a lot of, like, romantic elements. But, like, with his Oni Press series, Scott Pilgrim, which I have right here, honestly, ironically enough, I have right here on the bed. I'll be reading that today. It is... But Scott Pilgrim was more like for guys, but it had some romantic elements in it because it kind of, and I say for guys, it had a lot of video game references, and the main character was a guy, so it kind of makes sense that's supposed to be. But it's more like anyone can enjoy Scott Pilgrim. You don't even have to enjoy video games to understand Scott Pilgrim. I mean, you're probably not gonna enjoy it as much. There's a lot of like references and video game humor, but it's done in a really like fantastic way. It's not too annoying or anything. It's not Big Bang Theory annoying, basically. But Snot Girl is something where I think a lot of people will, like, anyone can enjoy Snot Girl. It's not, for a book called Snot Girl, there's not a whole lot of gross out humor, thankfully. That was the one thing when I read this series the first time. That was one of the things I was dreading. That's honestly the only reason why, even though I had heard about it from a long time ago, I hadn't checked it out for a while. There's the artwork for Snot Girl, which is done by Leslie Hung. I think there's colorist. Yep, with colors done by Mickey Quinn. And this is one of those books where because it's a 3-volume series or more, the first volume is $10. And funny enough, like, the only volume that doesn't have this little flap to it, with it, is the second volume. It's really weird. Yeah, here's the second volume, which, volume 1 collects 1 through 5. Volume 2 is 6 to 10. And then volume 3 is 11 to 15. But yes, a 3-volume series, all 15 issues are collected in the first 3 volumes. It was apparently supposed to come back. It does end on a cliffhanger because they were supposed to come out in issue 16 and beyond. That to at least have a 20 issues, so it'd be a 4th and final volume at least. But no news, nothing on it recently. It's just kind of like, I'll check Image Comics' website, but I doubt there's anything new on it. Which is kind of annoying, but it wasn't like a super huge cliffhanger. It wasn't like how I mentioned Saga is gonna be. Even with issue 66, but I cannot imagine how annoying that was with issue, nothing. Yep, just where's this one? Oh, so I check Image Comics. It's like the website, and on the bottom they'll have like a news section, like, oh, here's this upcoming series, here's this upcoming hardcover collection of this acclaimed series, and one of them was a sequel to Doug Wagner's Plastic, a series that I'm glad I didn't get because I'll wait till the sequel is out in trade format before I pick up that next book, or the Plastic Eternal. Then yet another stupid fucking Spawn book. It's so annoying, like, even people that are, like, really into Spawn, it's gonna be so annoying. Like, isn't the whole point of Image, for me at least, the whole point of Image Comics is because for Snot Girl, it's all right here. There's no spin-off series, it's not an example. Paper Girls, that's all 30 issues, that tells a complete tale. There's no spin-offs, there's no, this is continuing on, Brian Lee O'Malley is gonna write the follow-up series because it like runs, like, this is a Paper Girl, like Spider-Man, like, that's like, it's like Spider-Man where a bunch of people write Spider-Man for Spider-Man, but the series is still going on. They have events. There's no events. There's no Paper Girls events. There's no crossover with Saga. There's no this or that. But Spawn is one of the only exceptions. There's Darkness and Witchblade, I believe. But it's usually the ones that have been, and maybe Savage Dragon. It's usually just the ones that have been going on for a long-ass time. And at the end of the day, if I could if it was easy for me to get all these spin-offs, then yeah, I wouldn't be too annoyed. And I would have a complete series that would be kind of nice to, like, have, why need another Spawn Universe book? Like, the only reason why I'm not, because I did read the first compendium of Spawn, I kind of do keep forgetting that. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not exactly, like, as much as I really, really enjoyed it, I'm kind of skeptical to get the compendiums, because that's a lot of money, and I wouldn't even have all of Spawn, like, not even all the ongoing series. It's still going on. But, whatever, at the end of the day, it's not, like, I probably will break that rule soon. But that's it for this video. 23 minutes. Next video will probably be a lot shorter. And this is half of them, and you're thinking 6 more, probably on Thursday. No, it's yeah, any day, because this one's supposed to be Saturday, and the next one's gonna be like sometime this week. So I have a video out for this week, because I'm not sure I'll have anything for this week. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'm not 100% sure.